Okay, today we are going to be using a large language model or a AI chatbot to have a conversation to develop some lesson resources that you can use in your classroom. I wanted to share this ASCD article. I'll give you about 15 seconds to read this quote. So we can see that ASCD is recognizing that prompt engineering, as it's calling it, prompt literacy, is becoming something that we need to be more aware of, and we really should be teaching our students how to use it to interact with AI ethically and responsibly, because this is becoming more and more embedded in the workforce, and students are going to need to be comfortable doing this if we're going to truly make them college and career ready. So we are going to be practicing prompt engineering today, and I break it down into three major parts of crafting a prompt, and those parts are the role, the task, and the output. Now, other tutorials on prompt engineering might have additional pieces. You might see 5, you might see 4, I've seen 6. But I feel this is pretty simple and a good way to get started, and you can incorporate all of those other pieces into these 3 parts. So we're going to stick with this for now. So what those components give you are the role is you are going to first start out by asking or telling the AI, or in this case we're using ChatGPT, how it's going to act or think like, and then you're going to tell it what you want it to do. And then finally, the third thing is you're going to tell it how you want the response to be given to it, whether you want it as a paragraph, a long paragraph, short paragraph, bulleted list, a table. The paid version of ChatGPT can actually generate a PDF that you can download or a Microsoft Word document. So that becomes how you want ChatGPT to, give it its response to you. So these 3 pieces of the basic AI prompt I got because I subscribed to this newsletter that you can see down here called the Neuron Daily. I really find it very informative, and it's not an education newsletter, but it is very helpful. So if you're interested in what's going on in the world of AI, this is a good one to subscribe to. They also have just launched a podcast if you want to listen to podcasts. Okay, so we're going to generate some text-dependent questions, and specifically the War of 1812. And what I'm going to do is I've gone out to Encyclopedia Britannica, and I found an article, so we can assume that this is a reliable article, but you can see that there's a lot of advertisements and pictures and such. So what I did is I copied and pasted it into a document that we're going to use to give it to ChatGPT. The newer version of ChatGPT now allows you to upload files, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download this as a PDF document, and I'm going to save it. In the previous version, I would have copied and pasted this, but since we can now upload files instead of copying and pasting, which can be it's an extra step, we're just going to upload that PDF file that I created because it's easier that way. So let's take a look at how I'm going to craft the prompt. So first, as I said, we are going to define the role. So we're going to tell it that it's going to be a social studies teacher working with 8th grade students and teaching the War of 1812. I am going to give it an article about the War of 1812, and I want it to generate 5 text-dependent questions, which are DOK levels 2, 3, or 4. So I am being specific about what I want, and I'm going to be specific about how I want it to be outputted. I wanted it to be in a bulleted list format and indicate the level of DOK for each question, because I want to make sure that I read it and I would agree that yes, this is a level 2 or a 3. So when I go back to ChatGPT, I'm going to paste my prompt right here, and I'm going to attach that PDF that I just downloaded, and you can see it uploads. It's now ready, so I am going to send it off, and it's going to use the information in that article. So you can see it tells me what level it is, and it gives me an explanation about why it considers this to be a good DOK level 4, DOK level 3. All right, so here are the questions. So now let's generate a rubric. So we're going to go back to our prompt engineering and we're going to look at the War of 1812. This time, because we're having a conversation, we've already told ChatGPT that it is a social studies teacher. We don't have to do that again. We don't have to redefine that because ChatGPT will remember. An AI never forgets, kind of like an elephant. In fact, a newer feature of ChatGPT remembers all of your conversations to help it inform your personality, your trends of what you ask for, what you're looking for, to try to customize its response more to what and anticipate your wants. You can turn that off. It's a safety feature that they built on. You can also tell it not to use any information that you give it to become part of its training. So that is another nice safety feature, and I recommend that you do that as well. So what we do want to do is we want to tell it that we wanted to create a 4-point rubric for scoring student responses to the text-dependent questions it just created. Please include criteria for mechanics as well as content for the student response. And then we want to output it in a table that I can copy and paste into a Word or Google document. And as I said before, the paid version of ChatGPT will create that Word document for you, but we are using the free version, so we do have to tell it to put it into a table to make it easier to paste it. And so I pasted my new prompt on there, and I'm going to just go ahead and send it off to ChatGPT. And it's doing a really good job of formatting in a table. Interesting the way it formatted it, it didn't do it as I was expecting. So what I've done here is I've asked it to reformat the table so that the scores are across the top and the criteria are on the left side. I'll send it off and see what it does. And now we have a more standard looking rubric. So sometimes ChatGPT or AI kind of get confused about what you want. You just tell it, hey, thank you for that, but let's do something different. So now we have a rubric. It's in a table. I can copy and paste it into a Word document. This is a Google document, but just to demonstrate this, let me go down to the end. Boom, there. You've got a table ready to go for your students. So that's how you can create a series of questions from a PDF that you uploaded to ChatGPT and generate a rubric for those questions.